A new report surveying jobs and earnings shows the capital region is falling in the rankings this year compared to last. And while it may sound like bad news up front, economists say don't put all of your money on it. Matt Markham is here now to explain and show the areas in which the region is doing quite well. Matt?
Well, Greg, this all comes out of a Milken Institute report, which places the Greater Capital District at 84th of 200 large areas it surveyed. We're still ahead of other upstate New York cities, but behind New York City and Long Island. However, there's one particular field of employment that may have contributed to our downgrade among best performing cities.
It wasn't a good period for anybody who had a high concentration in government jobs.
Economist Hugh Johnson says the report looks back at trends in the capital region rather than forward. That said, the capital region explains in its name why the region fell behind most other best performing places. Wage growth and job growth, Johnson says, are the primary defining characteristics of how well a city is doing.
The growth rate of jobs and the growth rate of wages was dismal in 2011-2012 because the federal government, like the New York State government, was faced with significant fiscal deficits or problems, and they had to cut back.
And since this is the center, the erosion in strength was expected, he says, but the short-term numbers in the technology field were positive, and Johnson believes the next report might look different.
The decline in government employment for the nation as a whole, but certainly for Albany, has also stopped, and it's starting to rebound. It's not as much a drag as it was before.
Johnson recently offered his economic forecast for the year ahead. He says it's a sunny one.
It's headed in the right direction, so you'll see a positive outcome. You'll see a positive outcome, in my judgment, over the course of the next 3 to 5 years and beyond that.
And the data shows growth in certain areas specifically.
The performance isn't going to be particularly good for Albany County, isn't going to be particularly good for Schenectady County, but it's going to be really good for Saratoga County and Rensselaer.
But some pretty nice shots of Albany, didn't you think? Johnson went on to say that while the greater Albany area should see some growth, two smaller regions will likely be among the best performing, and they are Kingston and Glens Falls. Greg?
All right. Any reason why those two stand out, Matt?
Well, yeah. Mr. Johnson says that, first of all, he's a numbers guy and said that he is a little puzzled as to why that may be the case. But in terms of Glens Falls specifically, may be explained as a reciprocal effect to growth in Saratoga County. Without getting too specific, he said household and census surveys point to growth there. Perhaps it's people who work in Saratoga and commute from the north. Also, coming up at 6 o'clock, unemployment numbers out. The rates are down nationally, but we'll take a look at the local story and see if it's good news or bad news here.
All right, sounds good. I agree. Those are some nice aerial shots as well.
Yeah, aren't they nice?
they were really nice. Yeah. All right, thanks, Matt.